today. The outdoor workout and sleep schedule and everything else that went into it, they did a tremendous job and the players responded. Today we pushed them and they passed the test. While we were doing that, we were able to remind them about some of the structure that we want to play with. Very simple stuff, but stuff that we need before we can move on. So I would call it a good day for us.
So you got actual...
Yes, we did. There's a couple of goals that we wanted. One was to work on some entries, and one was to work on forecheck. All reminders for the majority of them. I think Andreas and Dubois are the only two that haven't heard the language or maybe played the system, and they picked it up real quick. So we wanted to do that, and then we wanted to wake the bodies up and remind them that it's not summer hockey anymore. And we came over here with a purpose. They've been really good from the time it was announced back in California through the summer and the lead up. Our players have been really good, so we're happy with them to this point.
We talk about those reminders every single year. Does it make it easier to get into the other stuff because it's only 2-3 guys who haven't now been with the group?
You know what? I think you're exactly right. But I always remember going back to school, and I don't want to degrade our group by saying it's elementary school or anything. I don't talk about myself, but when you go from grade 3 to 4, the first thing you do in grade 4 is a reminder about adding and subtracting and how we did it. And then you gradually got to the new curriculum, and that's where we're at right now. I think the quicker they pick things up, the quicker we can get to growing our game, and that's the stage we're in right now.
There's a lot of energy in that off-ice workout yesterday. You see a guy like Drew Doughty, he's competing even in that setting. Does that energy, that hockey energy, just kind of rub off on the group in this type of setting?
Well, when Drew or Louis, Kopi present themselves to their teammates, it is something that does rub off. It energizes the group. It kind of holds everybody else accountable. If they're going hard, we have no choice but to at least match it. And I think we saw that in practice today as well.
You had Gavrikov at the deadline. Can you just tell us about your impressions having him that final 6-7 weeks and now knowing you have him for at least a couple more years?
Well, let's start on the back end. We're certainly excited about getting him signed and keeping him here. We feel our top 4 can match up with anybody's top 4, and he's a big part of that. Having the left-hander there, talked about him being on the sneaky offensive side last year, but he didn't do that at the expense of what we brought him here for, and that was to really play a heavy, hard game and check. And fits our locker room very well, so I think if you did a survey, everybody here would be really excited about having him.
Blakey has made this clear, it might not be a 23-player roster every single night. How does that change the evaluation process early in camp when you might not have as many spots as you did last year?
Well, first of all, we're not going to be the only team in the league that may be in that situation. Unfortunately, the economics come into play, and our group is trying to balance the cap as much as they possibly can. And quite frankly, as a coach, I'd prefer it to be less than more. Misery loves company, and there's always 2 or 3 guys that are scratches that aren't happy. I think this way, if you play hard, you get to play every night. There's not a lot of doubt whether you'll be in the lineup or not, but we're not afraid to make changes if we need to make them as well.